Rainy day students. Sorry for the delay. Are you able to hear me? Krishi, are you able to see the board? Whiteboard? Good. So in the morning class, we have seen about the introduction fluid statics, density, pressure. Okay, variation of pressure due to depth. We found that at any depth, the pressure is nothing but P is equal to P naught plus rho GH, where P naught is the pressure at the surface of a liquid. Then we have also discussed some various cases where there is a seal tank, so the atmospheric pressure will be zero. I mean, the pressure on the surface of the liquid due to atmosphere will be zero. Whereas if we take the piston, so weight of the piston will also be acting over here. So the pressure at each and every point will definitely increase. Now what we'll do is that we will come up with some techniques. Uh, yes, we we try to measure the atmospheric pressure using a device called barometer. Using a device called barometer, we try to measure the atmospheric pressure. So for that, what we are expected to do is that take a thin glass tube. Okay, take a thin glass tube and fill it with some mercury. Okay, fill it with some mercury. What about the other students? Only six of you have joined. Fill it with some mercury and immerse it into a tub of mercury. Immerse it into a tub of mercury. Then what is bound to happen? Give me a minute. Okay, let me find out why others haven't joined yet. Okay. The thing is that here, let's say we fill it with some mercury. Okay, so let me assume that this is the mercury. This tube is filled with mercury. This tube is filled with mercury, and we are suddenly immersing this into the tub of mercury. Mercury doesn't look yellow. Okay, here just for representation purpose, I'm choosing this to be this color. Now, what must happen? The thing is that because of the weight, because of the gravity, so some of the mercury must fall. Is that right? Some of the mercury must fall from this. Okay, let's say some of the mercury fell, so the level dropped. The level has dropped. Now let's select some points over here. Let's say the point over here it is A. Let's say this point is A. This point is B over here, and let me assume another point C over here. We know that at any instant, the pressure due to atmosphere will be how much? P naught. Wherever it is open to atmosphere, The pressure will be P naught. And here, what is happening? You suddenly you immersed into a beaker. So here, this part will be vacuum, and there is neither any liquid or gas. So pressure at A must be how much? Zero. And because B and C, they are at the same horizontal level. So what must happen? Pressure at B must be equal to pressure at C. So pressure at B must be equal to pressure at C. And we also know that pressure at B is equal to pressure at A plus, if this is mercury, this height, let's say this is the height of mercury, and let's say this is density of mercury. So we know that pressure difference between 2 points having some height difference is P is equal to Pa plus density of mercury into G into height of mercury. Do you agree with that? But in the given case, pressure at A is how much? Zero. And we know that pressure at B is nothing but 0 plus density of mercury into G into height of mercury is equal to, what is pressure at C? Pressure at C is nothing but P naught. Got the point? So from this, what we usually do is that we get the atmospheric pressure at any instant by using this setup. Okay, by using this setup. So this pressure P naught, it is what is called atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure. Now when you solve for this, usually at sea level, okay, note, at sea level, height of mercury will be uh, 76 centimeter. 76 centimeter. Okay, height of mercury will be 76 centimeter. So as per that logic, if you do the calculation, you get the value of P naught as how much? 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 Newton per meter square or Pascal. Got the point? So that will be the atmospheric pressure. Did you exactly understand why, how we are able to do it? So here, why is the mercury standing in the column means because of atmospheric pressure. Because atmosphere is pushing the column over here from both the sides. So that's the reason why some amount of liquid is able to stand in the tube. Now, let me ask you few questions over here. Okay, let me ask you a few interesting questions over here. First question is, if we keep this open, will the mercury stand in the tube? Will this rise in the tube? Krishi, what do you feel? Will this rise in the tube? No, that will never happen because here also there is atmospheric pressure, here also there is atmospheric pressure, because pressure at B must be same as P naught. So for that particular reason, the height of mercury must be 0. So that will just for the sake. That means when the tube is open, that will never happen. The mercury will not rise into it. Now the next question. You see here the height of mercury, is it ever depending on the thickness of the tube or the radius of the tube? No. So that means the height of the mercury column is independent of the size of the tube. That's the second part. Now my third question is, why are we choosing mercury? Why not we choose water or oil, petrol or diesel? Any guesses from your side? Yeah, predictions also are acceptable. Kartikeya, my question is, can we use oil, milk or water or petrol or diesel in this barometer experiment instead of mercury? If If yes, then why don't we use it? If yes, then why don't we use it? You see, the thing is that if you take water, let's say example, if at all I take a water barometer here, particularly here we call this as mercury barometer because we are using mercury. We call it as mercury barometer. Let's say if I use water barometer, we know that P naught, what do you get? P naught is equal to density of water into G into height of water. Is that right? So the height of water column will be equal to how much? P naught by density of water into acceleration due to gravity G. You know that this is 1.013 into 10 to the power of 5 Pascal by water. Density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Let me write as Newton per meter square. This is kg per meter cube into acceleration due to gravity is how much? That is 9.83 meter per second square. If you substitute all these values, you can see 10 power 3, 10 power 4, this is into 10, that will be 10 power 4 in the denominator, 10 power 5 in the numerator. Roughly this will be 10 meter. Roughly this will be 10 meter. That means just to measure the atmospheric pressure, we need, the column inside the water column inside the tube should be of height of how much? 10 meters. 10 meters. Now, what's so weird about it? The thing is that, you see, my height is 5'6". My height is 5'6". So that is h is equal to 5 feet 6 inches, which will be, even when I convert it into meters, that will be 1.68 meter. You see, my height is 1.68 meter, and usually the floor of a building is of the order of 4 meter, 4-story building. The building which we usually stay, it is of the order, size of 4 meters. The residential building, commercial building may be greater than that. So that means just to measure the atmospheric pressure, we need a tube of 10-meter height. That means we need a tube of 3-story building tall. Just to measure the atmospheric pressure, we need to take we need to construct a tube of 3-story building tall. Now tell me, will it be practically possible to carry it from one place to another place? First and foremost thing, it is difficult to construct. And second thing is that we'll definitely break it if it is such tall, such long, because it is made up of glass. And third thing is that transporting it becomes very difficult. Understood the physical difficulty or practical difficulty in using water over here. So here, if we use liquids which are of less density, then the height of the water column must be huge, right or not? Because we are getting simply like this. The P naught is equal to density of liquid into G into height of liquid. So height of the liquid column is P naught by density of liquid into G, that is height of the liquid column is inversely proportional to density. So if the density is more, then the height of the column will be less. Is that right? The reason for choosing mercury is that the density of mercury is 13.6 times denser than that of water. That means mercury is the densest liquid known to us. So for that particular reason, we are using mercury. If we know, let's say in the future we come up with some liquid which is denser than mercury, then I will definitely replace mercury with that new liquid without any hesitation. Okay, there is no personal attachment with mercury because it is the densest one. We are using it. Got the point? Everyone understood this? Any confusion here? is how we measure the atmospheric pressure. Now, if you want to measure the pressure of gases, okay, if you want to measure the pressure of gases, then we have a device called manometer. We have a device called manometer. So in this manometer, what we usually do is that assume that we have a gas tank over here. Assume that we have a gas tank over here. Okay. So in that gas tank, to that gas tank, what we do is that we connect a tube of this shape. We connect a tube of this shape, this kind of shape, or any shape you consider, not a big deal. Only thing is that this must be a tube. Now here what we are going to do is that we put a valve over here so that we can open it and close it. And there's a gas confined inside it. So we know that because the gas molecules will go and hit with the walls of the container, they'll definitely exert some pressure. So let me call this as P gas. Now let's fill this tube with some mercury. Let's fill this tube with some mercury. With some mercury, and let's say we open this wall. Let's say we open this tank, open this wall. Then what will happen? We know that definitely these gas molecules will escape from the tank. They come and collide with this. Is that right? Thereby, they push this mercury downward. Thereby, they push this mercury downward and they exert a pressure which is equal to P gas. Is that right? So if I select this point as A, so I can say that pressure at this point A is P gas. And we know that because the gas is pushing it downward, so level of mercury will rise on the right side. Level of mercury will rise on the right side. And we know that this right side part is open to atmosphere, so it must be atmospheric pressure. So pressure at B will be equal to P naught. Now in the given situation, assume that we have some height difference of mercury, height difference in the mercury level on both sides. So if this is A, this is B, we know that if we choose some point C over here, pressure at E, you see points A and C, they're at the same horizontal level. They're at the same horizontal level. This is a horizontal level. So they're at the same horizontal level. So as per this logic, what we can say, since pressure at A must be equal to pressure at C, right or not? What is pressure at A? That is the pressure of gas inside the tank is equal to pressure of C. We know that because they are having height difference, and we know how to compare the pressures of 2 points in a single liquid. So we can say that pressure at C is nothing but pressure at B plus density of mercury into G into height of mercury. Here also I am using mercury for the obvious reasons we stated, that it is the densest liquid. Now we know that pressure of B is at nothing but how much? That is P naught, right? Pressure of gas is equal to P naught plus density of mercury into G into height of mercury. This is how we measure the pressure of gas from the given expression, from the given setup. So here, pressure of gas is what is called the absolute pressure. That means it is the actual pressure of the gas, absolute pressure of gas. This is what is called the absolute pressure of gas. We know that P naught is referred as what? Atmospheric pressure. P naught is referred as atmospheric pressure. Now the term pressure of gas minus P naught, okay, that will be how much? density of mercury into G into height of mercury. In fact, this is what we are able to measure from the manometer, right? So this is what is called gauge pressure. Few people also call it as gauge pressure. It's up to you how you pronounce that, but the spelling is correct. It is what's called gauge pressure or gauge pressure. So this is how we use. Again, is this kind of setup where we connect a tube containing some mercury to a gas tank, and based on the height difference, we estimate the pressure of the gas. So this setup is what is called a manometer. Have all of you understood this? Any confusion here? Good. Let me ask you an interesting question. Okay. So let's say we have some cube like this. Let's say we have some cube like this. Okay. Now what we are doing is that we have started pouring some water into it. You see, uh, water is the most familiarly used liquid, right, in our daily life. So it's a liquid which we encounter the most. That's the reason why I may be calling water at times in synonymous to the term liquid. Now my question is that if I start pouring liquid into it or some water into it, so what must happen? Definitely, in few of the columns, the height must be more, and few of the columns, the height must be less, right or not? So my question is, in which column it will be more and which column it will be less? That's the question. So let me call this as point A, this as point B, this as point C, this as point D, this as point E. You can treat all of them as different shapes. So in which shape should we have more height? Which shape should we have less height? Yeah, you can make some guess, but give me some reason for that guess. So in which shape do you think should have more water, or which one should have less water or less liquid? So I'm very confident that at least one of you might be thinking that because here this is wide, the cross area is wide in case B. So the for less height the weight will be more. So you may be under the impression that in case B the height must be least, and in case A the height must be the most. Yes, my guess is correct. So Amrita also feels that in the case A it must be more. because the width of the pipe is less. Understood? So let's try to address this. How? We know that everywhere this is open to atmosphere P naught, right or not? Everywhere this is open to atmosphere P naught, atmospheric pressure P naught. So we know that since let's say this height, let me call it as HA. We know that since P is equal to P naught plus rho g h, P is equal to P naught plus rho g h, and we also know that pressure at A is equal to pressure at B is equal to pressure at C plus, sorry, that should be equal to pressure at D must be equal to pressure at E. Why? Because they're at the same horizontal level. Do you agree with that? They're at the same horizontal level, right or not? So that means pressure at A must be equal to pressure at B. That means pressure at A is nothing but P naught plus rho g HA must be equal to P naught plus rho g HD. That must be equal to P naught plus rho g HC, P naught plus rho g HD, that is equal to P naught plus rho g HE. So P naught gets cancelled everywhere. So this implies HA must be equal to HB, that must be equal to HC is equal to HD, that is equal to HE. That means what we have concluded from this, irrespective of the shapes, sizes or widths, the height in all the columns must be same. Height in all the columns must be same. Are you getting the point? Height in all the columns must be same. So they will maintain the same level. Got the point? So the water inside it or the liquid inside it will rearrange itself in such a manner, rearrange it in their height in such a manner that height in all the columns will be equal. Understood? So if there is some height difference, there will be some pressure difference created. That pressure difference will compensate. Pressure difference will compensate. If at all there are any inequalities in the heights. Got the point? So all of them will maintain the same height. Is that okay? If you're not believing it, let me take another example. Okay, let me take another example. Another example is, let's take a water bottle or beaker, water bottle or beaker, water bottle or beaker. So from this, what we can see is that, let's say we have, let's say we take a water bottle or a water beaker. We know that the level of liquid inside it will always be horizontal if we place it on a horizontal table, right or not? This will be horizontal. This will always be, the level will always be horizontal, right or not? Now let's say if you take this beaker for the water bottle, okay, you can try it. Some of you may be holding water bottle with you. If you try it, and if you try to tilt it, the moment you try to tilt this water bottle or the beaker water bottle, so what do you feel? Do you feel that the will the level of water be having this kind of shape? Will it form this way? Amruta. So is the diagram in case B, okay, the case B, this is case A. Is the diagram in case B correct? No, that is never correct. You can try it. That will always be, no matter how you tilt it, that will not tilt towards right. That is not, that will not tilt towards right. But in fact, what will happen? The level will try to, it will try to take, I don't mean that it will take the same horizontal level, but it will definitely take a horizontal shape. Got the point? Okay, do as I say. Take a water bottle in your hand. When you hold it vertical, when you hold the bottle vertical, the level of water, okay, the water level, the top level of the water is horizontal. It is parallel to ground. The moment you tilt the water bottle, what will happen? Will the level tilt along with it? No. The level of water will be again horizontal. The shape will again be horizontal. Did you get it? It's very beautiful, right? That the level of water or any liquid is always horizontal. No matter however you bend the beaker. So irrespective of the shape, irrespective of the orientation of the beaker, the liquid level will always be horizontal. You see, from this experience itself, we have a very old saying that, okay, there is an old saying that liquid always knows its horizontal level. That means irrespective of the shape you put it inside, it will always know its horizontal level and it will always take the horizontal level. Is that okay? Have all of you understood it? Good. Now let's take one example, one particular example over here. One experiment. Okay, let's do some experiment or observation. Let's do an experiment over here. The experiment is that let's take a U-shaped tube. Okay, once again. Or let's not go with a U-shaped tube. Let's make some improvisation. Let's say we have a tube over here of uniform cross-sectional area. Uniform cross-sectional area means its area, the cross-sectional area of the tube must be same. That means it is of it is of same thickness everywhere. So initially it was having some water inside it. Initially it was having some water inside it. Okay, let's say this is some water. So this was our initial level of water because we know that. Because any liquid always knows its level. So this is the initial level of water. Initial level of water. Then what we started doing is we started pouring some oil into it. Okay, we started pouring some oil into it. Let's say this is oil. We started pouring some oil into it. The thing, what will happen with the oil is that the moment you start pouring oil into it, what should happen? The pressure on the left side will increase. So the water must get displaced. The water must get displaced. So the water over here will get displaced downward, right or not? So the thing is that if water is getting displaced, if water is coming down below in the left column by a size of 2 centimeter or 3 centimeter, how much should the water in the right side rise? It must rise by the same volume, because volume on the left side and right side it must be same. Volume displaced uh, should be same. That means the areas are same. So definitely the variation in the height must also be same. So if the water comes down over here by a meter, then what should happen over here? If this comes down by a centimeter, then this must also rise up by a centimeter. Do you people agree with this? Is there anyone who disagrees with this statement? That if this water is coming down by a centimeter from the initial level, so on the right side also it must rise up by the same a level. So here this is our oil. Okay, this is our oil. Now let's assume that this is the height of oil, total height of oil on this side, oil. And we found that on the level of the water, this oil is at an additional distance of d. It is at an additional distance of d from the water level. From the water level, final water level, the oil is at a distance of d. The question is, calculate calculate density of oil by density of water. Calculate density of oil by density of water. In fact, density of oil by density of water, this is what is called, do you know the name? That is what is called relative density. Not only for oil, for any object. If you take petrol, diesel, stone, wood, okay, density of any object by density of water, we call that as relative density. So the question is that the value of relative density is how much? In fact, you can also call it as relative density, or the other term for it is specific gravity. The thing over here is that because it is density by density, this doesn't have any units. So it has no units. It doesn't have any dimensions. So no units, no dimensions. There's no units, no dimensions. Got the point? Now, how to achieve this? Look here. We know that the pressure on the left side is P naught at the top because it is open to atmosphere, and the pressure on the right side is also P naught. Now, let me select a point A over here. Let me select a point A over here at this junction, and let me select some point B over here. Let me select some point C over here, and let me select some point D over here. Do you agree when I say pressure at C is not equal to pressure at D? You see, both of them may be at the same horizontal level, but they are in two different liquids, right? This is water, and the other one is in, I mean, point D is in water, whereas point C is in oil. So you cannot compare. But we can say that pressure at A is equal to pressure at D, pressure at B, okay, because they are in the same liquid. We are choosing the points in same liquid at same horizontal level. Got the point? They're at the same horizontal level. So that will be the, that's the reason why we can say pressure at B, A will be equal to pressure at B. So if you are taking B as a reference, then let me call this as height of water. Let me measure this way. We know that since pressure at A must be equal to pressure at B, we know that pressure at A is how much? P naught plus density of oil into G into height of oil must be equal to pressure at B. You know that at the top the pressure is P naught plus this is density of water. We are using water here into G into height of water. We can cancel P naught on both sides. This will be density of oil into G into height of oil is equal to density of water into G into height of water. From this, again I can cancel the value of G. So density of oil by density of water in the given case will be equal to height of water by height of oil. What's the height of water here? That will be A plus A, 2A. Is that right? A plus A by A plus A plus D. So that will be equal to how much? 2A by 2A plus D. Do you agree with that? Now in the given case, it is given that the value of A is 67.5 mm and the value of D is 12.3 mm. 67.5 mm and 12.3 mm. If you substitute these values and if you try to calculate, if you substitute these values and try to calculate, then what we can get over here is that, yeah, this will be equal to how much? This will turn out to be, this value will turn out to be 2 into 67.5 by 67.5 plus thing. If I use a calculator, let me use a calculator for this because it's a complicated calculation and moreover I am not writing an exam. I think I'll use it. 7.5 will be 135. 135 divided by 135 plus 12.3, 0.916. So that is the density of oil by density of water, specific gravity of oil or relative density of oil. So from this, what we can conclude, what will be the density of oil here? Final conclusion is that this implies density of oil is equal to 0.916 into density of water. Okay, this may be some random oil. Okay, so there are various oils possible. So, but in the given case, for the given experiment, I got this 0.916 into 1000 kg per meter cube, rate as 916 kg per meter cube, or we can write it as 0.916 gram per centimeter cube. Whatever you want to write it, that will be the answer. So 1 liter of water weighs 1 kg, whereas 1 liter of oil will not weigh 1 kg, but it will be less than that. That will be less than that. Any confusion in this? Then you will definitely get a different reading. You see, here I've copied a image of a oil packet for your sake. If you can see here, if you zoom this, what is written over here? Net volume is 1 liter, but the weight is 10 grams. So what does it mean? The density of gold drop oil Okay, gold drop oil. This gold drop, I think it's a sunflower oil. That will be 910 gram per 1 liter means 1000 centimeter cube. So this will be 0.91 gram per centimeter cube or 910 kg per meter cube. Understood the logic? So that's the reason why the volume is 1 liter, but the weight is only 910 gram. Now, coming to your question, Krishi. Now, Krishi wants to use, instead of oil, he wants to use mercury. The logic will be simple that in the case of oil, okay, in the case of oil was lighter. So, lighter compared to water. So, the level of oil in the left column was more, whereas water it was less. But let's say if you want to use mercury, mercury is very much heavy, right? So, the level of mercury will be less, whereas level of water will be high. Based on the height difference, we can estimate the height or the density. So, shall we try a question like that? So, for Krishi, what we'll do is that we'll frame a question involving. We'll frame a question involving mercury. Okay, I'll frame a question for you in the same manner. Let's say we have a U-shaped tube. Let me draw a rough diagram. Let's say this is a U-shaped tube of uniform cross-sectional area. Now the thing is that we have poured mercury as well as water into it. Let's say this is the same water level. This is the same water level, and what we have done is that we have poured the mercury in the left side column. So as soon as we pour the mercury into the left side column, so less amount of mercury is able to balance more amount of mercury is able to balance more amount of water. Is that okay? Let's say this is mercury. This is mercury, and let's say this height is height of mercury. Is that okay? Now, because we have to select 2 points over here. Let's say this is point A, this is point B, where the pressures will be equal, and this will be the atmospheric pressure P naught, and this will be the atmospheric pressure P naught. This is height of water. The question is that if density of mercury is 13.6 gram per centimeter cube or 13,600 kg per meter cube, and density of water is equal to 1000 kg per meter cube, the thing is height of water will be equal to how much? That's the question. The logic is simple. We know that since pressure at A must be equal to pressure at B, pressure at A is P naught plus density of mercury into G into height of mercury is equal to PB, that is P naught plus density of water into G into height of water. P naught gets cancelled. I can cancel the value of G also. So this is height of mercury into density of mercury into G is equal to density of water into G into height of water. We can take this as, we want height of water, right? Height of water will be equal to density of mercury into height of mercury by density of water. You know that density of mercury by density of water, that is how much? 13.6 times. The right or not? Will be 13.6 into height of mercury will be the height of water. That will be the question. Did you get it, Krishi? Good. So do you people have any other doubts in the given concept? So from tomorrow onwards, okay, we'll be having a combined class with other students as well. The timings would be from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Okay, so 8 means somewhere around 8, 5 like that. Okay, 5 minutes here or there. There will be delay, but we have a class every day. I think you people will be receiving your Google links for the classroom. The Vision 40 management, I think it will provide by today evening or tonight or tomorrow morning. I request all of you people not to miss my class, okay, because it will be very much difficult to cope up later. Okay, one class, it's not that you cannot understand, you can get it, you can understand, you can read it. Okay, you people have good grasping skills, but the thing is that if you miss 1 hour lecture, then you'll have to read 3 to 4 hours to understand what you have actually missed to read. So that means attending class would be effective way of learning. On that, we have to read again also, but I request you to be regular. Okay, even if you have missed any day, uh, please you can call me anytime, and you can seek the guidance. I'll definitely like to help you. So I'm sharing my contact number. Okay, but never call directly. Put a WhatsApp message if you need any guidance. Yes, I'll what I do is that today's recordings as well as the whiteboard, I'll share it to the management. They'll be providing you. Okay. So let's conclude today's class over here and meet tomorrow morning. Thank you.